Federal officers out in force for a third weekend in Portland as several protest groups converge on downtown streets calling for an end to police brutality and systemic racism. Welcome to KOIN 6 News at 11 o'clock. I'm Wayne Haverly. Now, these nightly protests, they have gone on now for nearly 2 months with no signs of slowing down based on the turnout this weekend. KOIN 6's Jennifer Dowling. She has followed the crowds in the thousands over the past couple of nights, and they have gathered again for another round tonight. She joins us live from downtown with a look at what happened this weekend and what's developing now. Jennifer, at 10 o'clock, you said the crowd was a little smaller than the last couple of nights. What are things looking like now?
Well, more people have streamed in, and I have to say people are being really responsible with the masks, even though it's really hot out here. There are hundreds of people out here. Speeches just wrapped up at the Justice Center, and folks have now coalesced around the federal courthouse building. That's been a flashpoint for protesters every night. So far, it's been peaceful and a little quieter than it has been over the past couple nights, but it remains to be seen if it stays that way. And Saturday, there were thousands of people here as well. The evening started off with festival-like atmospheres, then got a little more tense as the night went on. Protesters clashed with federal law enforcement overnight. Here's what everyone had to say Saturday.
4,000 people took to the streets of Portland Saturday, accompanied by a line of drummers.
We've got such a rich culture here of art and expression that we have a marching band. Like, it's amazing.
This festive march drew in local animal celebrity Cesar, the no-drama llama.
This is his 5th Black Lives Matter march.
Owner Larry McCool says this llama loves people and is quite comfortable being in crowds.
So his job as a no-drama llama is to bring tension down, to take drama out of people's lives, not add to it.
Larry says he and Cesar clear out if things get too intense.
I get him out of this situation before, any chance of that.
By the federal courthouse building, people threw fireworks into the fenced-in area meant to separate protesters from federal officers. Announcements from the Federal Protective Service warning people to stop tampering with the fence and throwing fireworks were met with boos. As the night wore on, people began climbing and banging on the fence. Federal officers flooded out of the courthouse in camouflage. They were blasted with lasers. At times, they launched early rounds of tear gas into the crowd as well. The clouds of gas beat back somewhat by protesters with leaf blowers humming near the fence.
They've been gassed every night. It's wrong. It's wrong in a very big way.
Late into the night, protesters continued to rock the fence and throw fireworks. More tear gas was deployed. Portland police declared a riot. Both local police officers and federal officers began combing through the streets. Officers were making arrests while dispersing crowds. Some people saw this as a betrayal, claiming that local Portland police officers were working with federal officers. Those federal law enforcement officers, meanwhile, in camouflage, went block to block, pushing protesters back. Portland police said damage was done to the Nike store overnight, and the fence at the federal courthouse building looked as if it were peeled back like a banana. Some panels had been sprayed with foam, so federal agents couldn't see the protesters on the outside. Michelle DePass says at the end of the day, she doesn't want all the extra activity to take away from the message of the protests, which she says is this.
And the reason that we're out here is because Black Lives Matter, and the feds need to get out of town. No one wants them here, obviously. Thousands of Portlanders don't want them.
So Saturday night into Sunday morning was a big event. Portland police say there were at least 6 arrests, and people threw bottles, paint balloons, and even mortars at local officers, which can injure officers. Those can be dangerous if they're flying at your face or your body. So back here at the protest, we have hundreds of people out here near the federal courthouse building. We'll keep monitoring the situation, bring you any updates there in the studio. For now, it's been a relatively peaceful night. Back to you.
Well, that is good to hear. Thank you, Jennifer, for that update tonight.